speaker, our next panelist says, I hate seeing myself is a familiar refrain. Putting together a video for your Toastmasters Club can be terrifying. Remember, terrifying and exciting are the same biological responses. Ginny has used live video and recorded video to promote D32 as district director, and she uses this today to promote her own online business. She will share tips, tricks, and some insight into how we can use the power of video to make our club irresistible to potential members, promising video didn't kill the radio star and it won't kill you. Please help me welcome Ginny Grabowski. Jenny, you are muted.
I just got that. When we think about being online, being in public, many of us are introverts. How many, I know it's Nerdmasters, how many of you would say you are an introvert? No, I can't see how many hands are going up. But given that it is a Toastmasters Club, I'm going to guess that a bunch of hands are up. Add to that going on video, online, on Facebook, on Instagram, on anything, and terrified, deer in the headlights, oh my gosh, no way, no how, can't do it. Or lots and lots of practice, maybe too much practice. I'm going to talk tonight about why video is important, why you want to be using it, how you can use it, and how you can get comfortable with it. So first question is why video? Video connects with people in a way that reading something just often doesn't. The more that you want to connect with younger people, to bring younger people into your group, the more important video is going to be. My personality comes across much clearer in this format than it does when I write. And I'm a pretty good writer, if I do say so myself. I'm going to have Sandy vouch for me on that. But there's something about video when I can hear you speak, when I can see your mannerisms, I can connect with you in a different way. It's going to be more powerful and it's more likely to draw people in. If they feel like they know you from seeing you online first, they're going to feel much more comfortable when they walk in that door, especially if they're an introvert and they are afraid of walking in that door to begin with. You can be spontaneous on video in a way that I find is a little bit more difficult to be in writing, especially with live videos. And I'll talk a little bit more about live videos specifically in a little bit later in this presentation. But the spontaneity, again, can increase that feeling of, I know him, I know her, I totally connect with them, because you're not rehearsed. We like to think that people want to see a video that is very well rehearsed and everything is perfect, and we talk about our things and we have our exact intonations and everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And that's just not true. People like to see others have a little bit of a misstep. Why? Because they have missteps in their own lives. And if they can watch someone who is a Toastmaster, someone who is already doing public speaking, and sometimes they mess up, that can make them feel more comfortable and make them feel more likely to walk through your door. Video is generally more engaging. For many of us, that the sound, even if sometimes we don't have the sound turned on, we talked about humor, Sandy talked about humor, and John talked about humor. You can infuse that into your video presentation. Even if they're scrolling through Instagram and they don't have the sound on, you may be able to do something that catches their eye, has them tap on your video and takes them to your website. That can be step one in getting them to walk through your door. All the cool kids are doing it. So now I know this is Nerdmasters, so we don't necessarily care what the cool kids are doing, but everyone from McDonald's to Coke to the local mom and pop store on your corner is using video more and more. It is becoming the thing that is promoted more often. When even in Google searches, there are videos that will come up in your search depending on what you're looking for. YouTube is the #1 place people go to for instruction. If you can capture someone's interest with an Instagram or a Facebook video that maybe takes them even to a YouTube link, again, that they are more likely to watch that, stay a little bit longer, and then maybe walk through the door of your club. So how do we do it? How do we make videos? What is it even? Where do we start? Prepare a speech, but keep it short. We want 1 to 3 minutes max, and 3 minutes is really kind of pushing it. If you can do 30 seconds to a minute and get everything that you need in there, even better. But I find 1 to 3 minutes works well with people who are really looking for information. If I want to look for how to do a wedding speech, I may want to actually hear you talk about that for more than 30 seconds, because that 1 to 3 minutes, again, is going to, on video, instantly make you the authority, because you have the courage to go online on a video, put yourself out there, talk about what it's like to do a wedding speech, maybe give an example of a wedding speech. I need to work on a speech for my wedding. We actually had someone come to our club for that exact reason. They were going to be the best man at a wedding, and they wanted to prepare for it. So make sure you're preparing your speech, but don't get too attached to your speech, because you're going to rehearse it, but not read it. Rehearsing the speech, making sure you're prepared to go on video, whether it's live or whether you're pre-recording, is going to be important. Can you mess up? Yes. Do you want to be on a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live and go completely blank? Stop. One here and there, the occasional, that's fine. When you spend your entire 1 to 3 minutes umming and ahhing, you're not necessarily promoting your club very well. So make sure you rehearse the speech, make sure that it is inviting and that you feel comfortable being in front of that camera. Avoid props. Sometimes people bring props in to do their speeches in an in-person room. I've seen people try to do too many things. We only have this little box. No matter how far back you stand, no matter how close up you come, you still have the box. Try to keep the box uncluttered. We can get distracted with props. Try and keep it simple. And then, do we want to be live or do we want to pre-record them? And I'm going to get to that again in a couple of slides, or maybe the next slide, because there's a very different feel to a live speech and a pre-recorded video. They feel different when you post them. The nice thing about lives is then they actually are pre-recorded. You just do them in front of other people. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. We talked about this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because everybody else has. So when you're thinking about preparing that speech for your video, go through the who, what, where, when, why. Who is your target audience? You may want to say something to them specifically as you open your video. You may want to, if we've got the Star Trek theme going for the evening, I don't know how you would address them, but with some Star Trek thing, you may want to address your audience in that manner. What are you going to be talking about? Do you have a special event coming up? Are you talking about a particular topic? Is there a particular demographic? For me and my business, I target women over 40. I may make a reference to a song from the 80s that everyone in my generation will know in a heartbeat. Something like that for your club may be powerful and may draw somebody in right from the get-go. The where and the when. Make sure you get that meeting information in there. You may not need to actually put it in your video. You may put it in the caption below, but you want to make sure you at least mention it, that you do have a meeting, that whatever the topic is you're talking about, you can help someone with their ability to give that speech. And then talking about the benefits. What are the benefits of, why would I come to Toastmasters and not just go to YouTube and figure out how to do this on YouTube? What's the benefit of coming to your club? You get to meet other people, you get to hang out with them, you get critiqued, you get live feedback, you get to be told if you're doing it right or wrong. Thinking about software. Now, I'm not going to get into too much depth in the software, but something to keep in mind, whether you're if you're doing a pre-recorded speech, people often think they need a big setup and green screens and all this fancy stuff. Use Zoom. Open up a Zoom meeting with you and you hit record. You now have a pre-recorded video. That's the simplest that you can make it. Social media, so again, using Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn, you can go live on those platforms and it is automatically recorded. That is now there forever. You can often download that and then edit it later, but you've done the hard part, which is get it done. Just start speaking into the camera. When we talk about hardware, again, people often think they need all these grand setups to do video and it has to look super professional. That's not what really works, especially on social media. Things like you're in your kitchen work better because, again, people on social media are looking for someone they can connect with. So when we talk about hardware, keep it simple. Use your phone, use your laptop. Right now, I'm on my laptop. My background is blurred like many of us do for Zoom. This works for just about anything. Specialty cameras, can you go that route? Absolutely. And I know this is Nerdmasters. So if that's what you want to do, have at it, but you absolutely do not need it in order to create a video that's going to promote your club. Do not read your speech. You want to, again, feel comfortable when you're in front of your camera. Can you have bullet points? Yes. Can you rehearse your speech so that you feel more comfortable? Yes. Do not read the speech. It will come off as extremely practiced and extremely stiff, and you will not likely connect with your audience. Make sure you're comfortable with your topic and it's something that you can speak on so that if you get lost, especially if you're doing a live video, you know it so well you can talk about it without any props, without any notes at all. Forget about perfect. It is the enemy of accomplishment. If you have been hemming and hawing over, should I do this? Should I not do it? Maybe I kind of want to do it. I'm the VP of PR. I don't know what to do. Turn on the camera, make sure it's alive, and just go. You're going to think that you have this huge audience. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go on Facebook or Instagram. Everyone's going to be watching. No one will be watching. You may get 5, 10 people at a time. If you have a really big audience, you may get maybe 20, 30 people, but it's kind of like radio. You won't really know they're there. So you can talk, they can type in comments. You may or may not see them because sometimes the platform is your friend, sometimes it is not. Just get on and do it and start practicing, because the more you do it, the more comfortable you will be in front of the camera. I often will set up bullet points behind the camera so that I can see them and it looks like I'm looking right at the camera, but I'm actually reading the thing that's going on behind the camera. When you're thinking about avoiding props, like I said, don't bring a lot of things in there, but think about what your background looks like. Right now I have it blurred. There's other backgrounds that everyone's got here on Zoom. When you're on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, you don't always have the option to do something like this. So just take a quick look and just make sure that there's nothing back there that you don't want seen, and make sure that there's nothing back there that distracts. I did a video once and I have very fancy lights. You can't really see it, but there's a blue one right here. And when I don't have my background blurred, it sometimes looks like it's right on top of my head. Incredibly distracting to someone watching that. Make sure you don't have things like that. Make sure you're talking to the camera, meaning look at the camera, the little light, whether it is on your phone, on your desktop, wherever it is. Don't be looking at yourself, because this is not a good video. And if you have someone on the other side and you're looking at them, again, not a good video. Make sure that you are looking into the camera and pretend that the camera is your best friend and you're having an easy conversation with them. Quickly, live and pre-recording. The reasons I like live, it's spontaneous, it's more comfortable. You have to keep going. If you mess up, you can't stop and then start the recording again. You have to keep going just like it's a live speech. And you might reach somebody in the moment. They may have a question about a club. They may have a question about Toastmasters that you can answer right away. It's conversational, easier to connect, more engaging. Pre-recorded definitely has its pluses in that you can make it perfect. You can make it everything you ever wanted it to be, but it can also be a tremendous time suck. I have had hours go by in my business when I was trying to make the perfect recording before I uploaded it. Much easier to just go online, get it done, and then edit if you need to a little bit later. Ways that you can use video, and I thought we had more like 14 minutes, so I know this is going a little bit long. How to use your video. Social media, of course, so Facebook, where are your people? Where do they hang out? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on LinkedIn? Wherever they are, that's where you want to put that video so that they can see it. You can also send it out via email. If you have people who have maybe visited your club before and they have left, but maybe they're still in the area, it might be a way to reconnect with them to email a link to a video. And in the end, remember, you're just sharing how cool your club is. You should be able to talk about your club and how much fun it is, because the more fun you can make your video, the more likely people are to walk through your door. Conversations are much more engaging than reading a speech and feeling like you are on reading it and being very, very serious. Have fun with it. Video should be fun. Get out there. Sometimes have somebody else maybe in the video so you can be the person over here talking and then they can be answering you so that then you don't feel like you're looking right at the camera and feeling very uncomfortable. Find a way to make it fun, and your videos will be things that people remember and will have them walking through your door. Back to you, Kyle.
Game over.